You think of advantages as something innate. You think of certain traits, personality, physical, as something positive. And then you watch something and you realize that you've been thinking about it all wrong. So I watched a video on YouTube called the Giants versus the Minions, I guess was the term they use, but badminton players, doubles. World number one were from Indonesia. They were short. And they're competing against some Norwegians or Danes or whatever that were pretty tall. And the announcer was saying how they did all these things to negate the advantages of the taller players. But I was saying, wait a minute, why are the taller people at an advantage? So they have to reach farther to hit a shot that's low. To swing their arms takes longer because they have a longer arm. They're innately slower. Sometimes they look pretty clumsy trying to reach for this or that because they have to contort their body, move in all these positions. They try to say that the shorter people are more agile, more flexible, were quicker, and they are. You can be tall and quick. Apparently, some people are tall and runners, and that means they move their legs very quickly. But the thing is, why is it that we think of certain things as advantages? Maybe we're just thinking about it all wrong. What is an absolute advantage? It's like, what is the absolute best? What is absolute good? And the reality is, there is none. The best car for racing is probably a Formula One car. That is definitely not a good car to drive. It's very uncomfortable. It doesn't handle bumps very well. I don't even have any music on there. Did I say again how uncomfortable it is? You know the seats don't even move. Would you really want that car? It's like an econo box you rent in Central America, which I've rented before. So why is that a good car? It's just good at being fast. Okay, but is that always an advantage? So what if there's some water on the road? Does it work? Well, it's not useful because it's not fast in the water. So you're saying it's not fast. I mean, that's the whole thing about advantages. What does it mean? Why do we think of certain things as good, positive, like tall? Tall is good, short is bad. Is that what they teach you growing up? Small is quick. Is that what they say as well? All these things don't really make any sense when you drill down and think about it. But yet somehow we have these myths of certain things being good. Universally, when there's almost nothing that's universally good, nothing that's universally a advantage. In fact, you look at people like your opponents, and you look at all this stuff, and you just think about how to poke holes through their defenses. All their advantages become disadvantages. And that's what they did in badminton. And that's the thing, right? People say the majority, well, basketball, you gotta be tall. There's short people who are really good. They just jump really high. Of course, you have to make a caveat why there are short people. But is basketball all about being tall? It seems like it. And then you have the short people, right? I dare say if you were taking it a step further, find an even shorter person. Can the tall person even guard them? Say you have somebody who's supremely talented who's only 4 foot. Can the tall person even get their hands down without bending down to be able to reach the ball when he's dribbling? The problem is we're so narrow-minded in thinking about these things. Malcolm Gladwell talked about this with David and Goliath. He's saying that all the Goliath's advantages are actually weaknesses, and it's David who should have won. Goliath is slow, can't see very well, built like a tank, but like a tank doesn't move very fast or far. He's able to hold his shield for him. So basically, he can't do much himself. So this is a sitting target for artillery, if you will. Absolutely wrong matchup. David was the obvious winner. But that's the thing with life. That's the thing how people look at things. See, I always wondered how these people create another burger chain when there's a million burger chains. What is it about them that makes them want to create a burger chain when it's shouldn't you do a market that's not saturated, that's not oversaturated? But they see it as an advantage somehow, not a disadvantage. I don't know what they're thinking, but they make it work. And you look at other things like here in Asia, you look at this street and it's filled with glasses shops. Why do you want to open up a glasses shops when there's a million other glasses shops nearby? I guess there's advantages I just simply don't see. So advantages, disadvantages aren't so much about things that are innate, inherent, more about vision and insight, how to see stuff, how to figure things out. I think that's the main thing we've been missing in life, or I've been missing, this idea of advantages, disadvantages. There are none. You create your own of what you see and what others don't see.